From National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through your new Salem Model 36 VBDS, and that's a 2020 model. We'll start here on the door side. You have a rear entry door here that goes right into the rear bedroom, the master bedroom. You've got a power awning, of course. This is the outside of your water heater. I'll open it up here for you. This water heater will work on either gas or electric. The switch for the gas is inside the trailer, but if you want to start the electric heating element, which is what you're normally going to use when you're camping, you're going to flip this switch, which is in the lower left-hand corner, to the on position. That will send power to the heating element that's behind this cover here. Always make sure you have water in the tank before you turn on the heating element or the gas, or else you'll either have to replace the element or damage the water heater in a more significant way. So you always want to make sure there's water in it before you use it. Also, I'll go into this a little bit more inside, but you have to bypass this water heater before you put antifreeze in it in the fall. So when you're winterizing it, there are some valves on the back of it, which I'll show you, and you're going to have to switch them so when you pump the antifreeze in, it goes by it bypasses the water heater, and no antifreeze gets inside. If antifreeze gets inside the water tank, it leaves a really foul taste that is very difficult to get rid of, if you can get rid of it at all. So you always bypass it. You never get antifreeze into the water heater. That's important. Okay, you've got a fill here for your onboard water tank, your fresh water tank. You'll only use this if let's say you're at an older state park that has a fill station when you first go in, but it doesn't have plumbing on the campsite. You would fill this tank, and then you'll use the onboard water pump to pressurize your trailer, and it works just like you have pressurized water. You're drawing it out of your tank. Most campgrounds will have city water, which I'll show you in a minute. That's generally what you're going to use. This is just for the campgrounds that don't have city water. Okay, you've got outside speakers. This is power. That is the vent for your furnace. This is the range hood vent. Now on the bottom of the vent there's a baffle, and on the bottom of it there's little latches on each side. So you're going to basically push up on those latches to free up the baffle when you're using the range hood. That way it can flap freely. If you're not using it, you're just going to keep it shut. It just snaps open and shut. It's very simple. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here because it's easier to see. You have standard stabilizer jacks. It has a 3/4 inch socket will operate it, or a crank. This has an added feature called a strong arm. Generally they're add-ons with trailers, but this particular model comes with it. And what it does is it stabilizes the trailer a bit more to take the shake out of it. Now if you look at this T-handle here, that T-handle should be loose when you put the jacks up and down. When you put the jacks in the down position, you're going to tighten that. So like I said, it'll take the shake out of the trailer. So you're going to keep that loose unless you've got the stabilizer down and you're happy with the tension on it, and then you tighten that up and it'll just take a lot of the shake out. Okay. All right. Okay, we're walking towards the front. Got sliding doors, obviously. You have pass-through storage. You also have this here, which is a plug port for a solar battery charger. So if you ever wanted to add a solar battery charger, you can get one with this type of plug on it. This one's made by Furion, and you can just plug it in there. Okay, just for the battery charger. You have a centerline hitch, which we'll show you when you come to pick up your trailer. Also, you can go to Husky Centerline and go to their website, and they have good videos on how it operates too, in case you need your memory refreshed. You have a power tongue jack, which is just up and down, along with a light. Two 30-pound tanks. This is the LP regulator here. This is an automatic changeover regulator, so it's going to draw down the door side tank first, then it'll draw down the off door side. This is not a tank selector, this is just a gauge. So you can see you can point it at the tank that you want it to look at it and it'll tell you if it's full or empty. Basically, if it's green, it's got gas in it. If it turns red, it's empty. So it's just a gauge. The tanks switch over automatically. You've got a deep cycle marine battery, 24 series, and over there you have the kill switch for the battery. The reason you would want to use that is because the main reason is the LP and carbon monoxide detector is hardwired to the battery, so even if you shut everything off and you're in storage, it'll continue to drain from your battery. So when you put your trailer into storage, you can just shut the battery off by turning it into the position it's in now. I'm going to turn it on when I get over here, and that's how it generally should be. When you're camping, the power converter will send power to your battery, and when you're towing it, your tow vehicle will send power, so you always want it on, except when it's in storage. Okay, moving on. Let me get back a little bit. Your slide out, which is in right now. Now you have 2 gray tanks on this trailer, I believe. I might have to correct myself though. Let me look here. No, actually this one just has 1. Okay, so you just have 1 gray tank, which is typical. Sometimes they'll put 2, but yours has 1. And basically this is where you're going to dump the trailer. You're going to go, excuse me, let me put those valves into the closed position. So basically you're going to hook your hose to here. It's going to go into the dump station. Then you're going to pull the black valve first. The black valve is toilet water. The gray is sink and shower water. So you're going to pull the black one first, and then you're going to pull the gray one. That's just because the gray water is cleaner than the black water, so it'll help to clean out the hose. Then you'll open your black valve again, and you can put the hose from the dump station, the garden hose, right on here. This is the black tank flush. So if you put it on there and you turn on the water, it'll even flush out your black tank better than it would just by dumping it, so you'll get it cleaner inside, keep the sensors clean so you can get good readings on the monitor panel. And then when you're done, you'll close the black tank. You'll take the hose off and you'll put the cap on. Your trailer hasn't been cleaned outside yet, so it'll be clean then when you pick it up, and you're all set. That's all there is to it. Just so you know, it says low points here. These 2 are hot and cold lines, and they've got a cap on them. This is the low point of your plumbing. So when you're winterizing, dewinterizing, that's one of the ways you let the antifreeze or water out. I'll just go basically into winterizing a little bit. You're going to have to educate yourself to fully understand how to do it if you haven't done it before. Or you could also call us and talk to us, and we'll talk you through it. There's videos online, friends, fellow campers, different ways you can learn. It's very simple. This is your power cord, sometimes called a shore cord, and it's 25 feet long and it's 30 amp. We give you a reducer to reduce the 30 amp plug down to a 15 amp, so you can plug this in at home. But just keep in mind, you can run everything in the trailer except the air conditioner. If you run the air conditioner, it draws too many amps and it'll pop your circuit breaker at home eventually, unless you have a 30 amp system wired in. So you can use everything at home except the air conditioner. This is the city water. If you remember, on the other side I told you there was the fill tank, or the fill for the water tank. This is what you'll normally use. You'll just put your hose on here, turn it on, and the trailer's pressurized. It's very simple. If you're using one system, you don't have to use the other. So you don't have to worry about the water pump or anything else if you're hooking up here. Okay. You've got another slide out here, a bedroom slide out, which we'll put out in a minute. Okay, on the back of the trailer, satellite and cable in to the entertainment area. It's pre-wired for a backup camera. I don't know if you can see that. I'm getting kind of weird lighting here. This particular one is designed for a Furrion camera. If you get a camera, you'll want to get one that fits into that housing. It's already pre-wired. We sell them if you're interested. So you can check that out if you're interested. Also, while I'm looking up here, I want to tell you that you have to inspect the roof. That's not just this trailer, it's every trailer ever made. you have to go up there when you winterize and when you de-winterize, and then once in the middle of the summer. What you're going to do is look at all the sealant that's on the roof. All the attachments, all the moldings are sealed with a lap sealant called Dicor, and you're just going to inspect it. And sometime you're going to see some separation starting. If you see that, you're either going to have to fix it yourself, which is very simple, or you're going to have to bring it in to have it taken care of. But the bottom line is you have to inspect it 3 times a summer, starting in the spring and the fall, and then in the summer, I guess I should say. So 3 times a year, and you look to see if there's any separation or cracking, and if you see that, you got to get it taken care of. This thing flexes down the road, and odds are you won't have to do anything for a long time, but you don't know. That's why you inspect it. Okay. All right, let's go inside. Forgive my camera work here. Okay. All right, so your main slide out is in, so we'll go to the control panel, and this will be the slide out button here. So we're just going to go out. It'll start moving out. Let me switch hands here. Hold on. Okay. So it'll start going out. It goes up over the floor, and then when it gets out, it drops into place. When it gets out, it'll make a ratcheting sound when it's all the way out or all the way in. That's what you want to hear. As soon as you hear that, you take your finger off the button. It's supposed to do that. That's designed to keep it from overextending or over retracting. There we go, right there. Okay. So, let's look around here. Okay, back to the panel. The other button here is for the awning, the power awning. So you can see I just pushed this button here. Some little focus. It'll send the awning out. You take it all the way out until you see the roller tube. I don't know if I have quite enough room here, so I'm going to be careful. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so there's the roller tube. I don't want to go any farther with it right now. So there you have it. If you want to pitch this awning, let's say you want to pitch away from the door, you can come down here and you can use this knob here. And then basically you'll pull down and then you'll tighten the knob holding it down, and it'll just pitch the awning a little bit. Just make sure you loosen the awning before you bring it in. Okay. Let me just bring this in a ways here. Okay. All right, the lights, there's a switch here which operates the light around the slide room. And then you have the other switches for your LED strip here. I'll turn it on and off so you can see it, for your awning. Okay. Any of the other LEDs, there's a button in the middle that you push to turn it on. Okay. Also, I told you it had an onboard water pump, and that's turned on right here. Okay. I told you the switch for the gas water heater is in here. You'll just do this to light it. Like I said, always make sure there's water in the tank before you do that. And the electrical switch, like I told you, is in the lower left-hand corner outside. Last thing on the panel is your levels for your tank. So the gray tank, you can see, one light lights up, that's empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments, as you can see. And when you get past 2/3, you're going to have to start thinking about dumping it. Your black tank is there, empty. Your freshwater tank is empty. And your battery is all the way charged. Okay? All right. Also over here is the fire extinguisher, obviously. And this is the LP gas and carbon monoxide detector. It should always be green like it is right here. I'll send it into test mode here so you can hear it. Here we go. There we go. So we'll go through another self-test. So that one's saying it's for propane. Okay. And then back to green. Okay. Over here we have a fireplace. which runs on 110 AC, and we have a sound bar. Okay. Both these have a remote, but I'll just do it by hand here. You turn it on, you see it says H, that's high. That's the fan speed. That's generally what you want. You want to usually keep it on high, but you can set it on low, or you can also shut the fan off if you just want a little bit of heat. It also has, let me go here, low, high, and then off. You can change the colors here, as you can see, and it has a timer also. Okay, all right. Your sound bar has two zones, 1 and 2. 2 is outside speakers, 1 is inside speakers. You can stream off this USB right here. This HDMI is an HDMI in, so you could set a game machine for kids on a rainy day here and plug it straight into the system once you install a television set. It also has Bluetooth, so it will you can hook up to it wirelessly. So there's a lot of features. It does everything you need for a trailer and more. So this over here, that's glowing green. This is the signal booster for the digital antenna for the television. You can shut this off here, but you'll get a really lousy picture. So you're going to want to keep that on when you're watching the TV. This is telling us that this is pre-wired for Wi-Fi, and the company that makes the components is King. You can see kingconnect.com. Basically, what this is telling you is that there's wiring here already, and there's wiring on the roof. So there's another panel on the roof where you can remove it and put an antenna, and down here you could put a router. It's just a signal booster for public Wi-Fi. Although you can get more elaborate models, but that's what the basic model is. So we also sell those. You can check with us and get pricing and see what other options are available. Okay, that's the backer plate for your TV. That means there's either a piece of sheet metal or a thicker piece of wood behind there, depending on the model trailer, but it's strong enough to hold a TV on a swing out bracket. If you get a swing out bracket, spend the extra money and get one that locks into place. It makes it a lot easier. Otherwise you have to put a strap on it and the straps hang in there, so it's much easier if you get one that locks into place. Okay, this is the bunk room. Okay, first bunk down, last bunk up, last bunk down, first bunk up. So just remember the order. These go up in the up position, and then you can see they latch into that little plate, if you can see it there, and there's another one there, so you can get them up out of the way if people aren't using them. And of course you have a regular bed here. And you also have a couch that flips over for a couch. So you've got a lot of options. This should also have there's the backing plate for this one for a TV. And there's the video out and the power for it. So there's a backer plate here also. The emergency windows, you're just going to, if you need to escape, you push this all the way through, and then you grab this red tab and pull the screen out, and you just roll on out of the trailer. Hopefully you land on your feet. But it's very simple. Okay, this also turns into a bed. This is a jackknife sofa. Excuse my camera work here. Here it is here, and you just grab it at the bottom here and jackknife it flat. So you get a bed there. Let me back up a little bit. Also, this table, you can pull the poles out of the table and put them in storage, and then drop the table down onto these cleats here, and then use the other cushions to fill in the space, and that's another bed. So you have 2 more beds. So you got 3 there plus 2 here. You're already up to 5. Okay. Now, I mentioned to you about bypassing the water heater. I just want to show you where that's at. Normally this panel is in place. It's held on by number 2 square-headed screws, so you need a number 2 square-headed bit to remove it. Right now, you can't see it that well, but let me see if I can show you, because they're sort of right in the way there. Right now this valve is parallel with the line going into the water heater, and so is this one down here, right? whichever line it's parallel with is the one that's open. So right now this is in camping mode. Let me back up so you can see it. Right now you'll be able to, let me get a steadier camera here. You'll be able to just fill it normally. You'll turn on you'll hook up your water outside, for example, turn on the hot water and just let it fill up. You know, air will blow out of the faucet and then more water will come out. Pretty soon solid water will come out when you have the black valve open on your faucet. Then you know that it's full. Now if you were going to winterize it, you would switch the positions of these valves so they're parallel with this line right here. This is called a bypass line, right? So you'd switch these valves. So let me show you. So it's in that position, and you switch the other one to that position too, and therefore the water will go through this line instead of going into the water heater. But let me restate that. Actually, the antifreeze will go through that line because what you're doing is bypassing it so the antifreeze doesn't go into the water heater. So whenever you pump antifreeze in, you're going to bypass it. I hope I explained that all right. Okay. And under here is where you would winterize. You draw the antifreeze in. Basically, the water pump is under there, and you'll connect to the intake side of the water pump and put a hose into a gallon of antifreeze and just draw it through the system with the water pump. It's something you'll have to educate yourself on a little bit, but that's where it occurs. To get to that, you'll just remove this drawer. You remove these drawers by pushing this piece like this, and the other one you'll pull up, like this, and the other one you pull up, and the drawer will come right up. All right. Let me get back up here. I mentioned the vent hood on the outside, the vent for the vent hood on the outside. Fan and a light. When you use the fan, you want to open the baffle on the outside of the trailer so it can vent. Otherwise, you keep that shut. Your microwave works like any other microwave. Nothing unique about it. The range, you fold the top up. I'm trying to be a good cameraman here while I'm doing this. I'm not doing the greatest job here. Okay, so this you're just going to spark to light. I didn't check to see if the gas is on yet, so if it doesn't light, I'll have to go turn it on, but I should have checked when we were outside, but I didn't, so no, it's on. So you just spark it to light it. You're not going to leave it open. Excuse me. You're not going to leave it open that long before you spark it, obviously. It's more like that. Okay, the oven, basically I'll talk you through this. It works like a water heater used to, and some still do. It has a pilot light down here, if you can see it back here. You have to trust me that it's back there. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn it to the flame, which means pilot. Then you're going to depress it. Then you're going to spark it and watch for this to light down there. When it lights, you're going to hold it for about 10 seconds. Then you'll go to operating temperature, and it'll work like a regular oven. It'll cycle through. But when you get to when you get done cooking, you can shut it off, and the pilot light will go off too. So each time, the point is, each time you want to use it, you got to light the pilot light. I guess I went a long way to tell you that, but that's the bottom line. You have to light it each time. And okay, so the refrigerator is just a refrigerator. There's nothing really unique about it. Okay, you have a pantry. Get back up here, which is nice size. Okay. All right, so this is your thermostat. You push the mode button once to light it up. Right now it's off. So this is just a fan. That's the air conditioner running without the compressor. This is the air conditioner. You always want to try and run it on auto because it'll give you high, low, and auto. Always use auto. There's always a delay for everything also. So now the furnace just kicked on, but there was a delay. It's like that with the air conditioner, everything. When you turn them on and off, you have to wait 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, before it actually kicks on. All right, the shower works like any other shower. Just remember to run the vent. There's a switch there. Will turn your roof vent on and off. You open it up right there. When you're using a shower, you want to vent it so you can take the humidity out so it doesn't promote mildew and mold in your trailer. This GFCI here, several plugs will be wired through one GFCI. This trailer might have two because it's a long trailer, so you figure everything about halfway back is wired through this one right here. So if another socket, or if you're using another plug and it blows, you'll reset it right here. Let me go look in the front of the trailer, see if there's another one. I got ahead of myself a little bit. No, it looks like that's the only one. So even if you're using the power outside with a coffee pot, if it ever pops, you'll reset it right here in the bathroom. Okay. Now the toilet, the main thing to remember about this is you can't use it dry. This has a pedal to flush it. See, it opens the trap there. Directly below it is the black tank. Okay, it goes directly down into the black tank. So the first thing you do when you get to where you're camping, you'll hook up your water, you'll plug it in, you'll come in here, and you get your chemical. You know, there's all different kinds of chemical. There's liquid, there's powders, there's pre-measured packets, which depends on what you decide to use. You'll put the chemical in here, and then you'll step on it. And when you do that, because you hooked up the water will come swirling out here. It'll go straight down into the tank. You want to put a couple gallons or so in the tank, a gallon or two. The bottom line is you can't start using it dry. You always got to have a little bit of water in it to start off with, and chemical. So after you dump the trailer, if you're going to reuse it, you're going to repeat this procedure again. Now when you flush it, normally it'll only fill about this high with water. So if you just step on the pedal and push it a little bit, like that, if you can see it, the water will come out and fill it, but the trap won't open. So you can put as much water as you want before you use it. You just have to do it each time by pushing lightly on the pedal. Okay? Alright. Hopefully I'm making sense to you here. Let's see. This is the bedroom slide. This is the switch for it here. Right by the door here, if you can see. So I'm going to push out, and out it goes. This screen that's laying on the bed is actually for the screen door for the sliding doors. You can put it in there. It has a storm door in there now. Okay, so we're almost out there. It'll make the same ratcheting sound, most likely. There you go. Okay. Alright, so you got another TV backer and video and power. Nice size closet, which is great for a trailer. You don't normally see full closets like this. It's a very nice feature. You can lift this up, and it has some totes. It's kind of like a foot locker. Okay. And I think that's about it. I want to check one thing for you on the outside, if I can. Hold on. Okay, I just want to make sure I went over everything for you. Last but not least, this is the dump valve for the fresh water tank. So when you're traveling, you don't want to carry all that fresh water if you filled it up at a state park, for example. So you'll just pull out that gate valve and it'll dump your tank. So, okay, I think I about covered everything. If you have any more questions, you can call us and we'll talk you through anything. We can talk you through just about anything. And so any questions, give us a call, and thank you for buying from National RV Detroit. And goodbye.